The decision follows yesterday's demonstration in which almost 20,000 Swindon fans took to the streets in a peaceful protest against the Football League. We have two reports. The first from David Passmore at the High Court in London.
Swindon Town's victory today was a small but vital first step in their long battle to retain First Division status. Inside the High Court, the club's legal representatives were backed by Chairman Gary Herbert and manager Ozzy Ardiles. Outside by fans convinced of the club's case.
We're hoping that they're here appeal and we're seeing us, you know that we follow the club, we love the club. We're just hoping that they make the right decision and reinstate us.
Swindon maintain their double relegation by the league for unauthorised payments to players was against natural justice and outside the league's powers. The league maintained they did act within their powers and said the court couldn't substitute its own views for those of the league. To do so, said their QC, Michael Burton, would be like asking the courts to rule whether Maradona had scored a goal with his hand. The hearing lasted 2 hours. There was no result, but the judge did decide the case should go to trial, also that the trial should take place during the first week in July. In addition to the judge's decision, the two sides came to an agreement. The Football League said they wouldn't publish their fixtures for the coming season until the end of that first week in July. In return, Swindon Town said that if they lost the court case, they would be responsible for losses incurred by the football pools companies to the tune of almost £200,000 a week. Usually, the pools companies are given 10 weeks' notice of league fixtures. The court case will be 7 weeks before the start of the season, which is on August the 25th. So, if unsuccessful, Swindon could be faced with a bill of more than £500,000. Swindon Town and their fans believe they have a strong moral case, but the support of a judge in deciding the legality of the matter will be more difficult to come by. David Passmore, BBC West at the High Court in London.
And David will be back later in the programme with details of the day's sporting news. The campaign to save Swindon from demotion has enormous support in the town. While directors prepared for today's High Court appeal, fans paraded peacefully through the streets yesterday to demonstrate their innocence. This now from Graham Gardner.
This was a protest by the people of Swindon, the majority who've seen the prize of First Division football jeopardised by the actions of the few who guided their team to the top. Supporters of all ages gathered behind banners which proclaimed the injustice they felt. Some were too young to understand exactly what it was all about. Others just went along for the exercise.
There's a carnival atmosphere. It's not just hardcore football fans, it's families that are coming around to defend what they consider is their right.
But do you believe it will have the desired effect?
What I'm certain of is that we're not going to turn our back after today and say whatever the outcome of whatever next line of action is, that we're going to do nothing. We are going to continue the fight. This is a fighting march.
The scenes as the march set off from Farringdon Park were reminiscent of those of 3 weeks ago, when the same open-top bus carried the Swindon players on a similar tour of the town. Then supporters were applauding the team's promotion to Division 1. This time they were fighting to preserve it.
Swindon Town's main appeal, of course, is through the courts, but the people of the town are hoping by turning up today in numbers that will show who the real victims of this sorry affair really are.
Swindon MP Simon Coombs joined the mayor and the chairman of the supporters club at the head of the procession. A jazz band, marching band and town crier added to the carnival atmosphere.
Oyez! Oyez! Swindon Town first, not third!
It's thought the crowd topped 20,000 as it stretched 3 miles around the town centre. The procession had to make a detour to prevent marchers at the front catching up with those at the back.
I think it's marvellous, absolutely marvellous. I haven't seen anything to beat this since Armistice Day.
Do you think it will do any good, though?
Oh, my goodness, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it's got to.
That's been absolutely fantastic. It's beyond our wildest dreams. Who could ever expect this turnout? And it has. It's been a totally family atmosphere, demonstrating their opinion.
What I do hope is that the football authorities and indeed anybody else who has to consider this matter will know what the feelings of ordinary Swindon people are, whether they're Swindon Town supporters who go out there every Saturday or not.
Graham Gardner, BBC West, Swindon.
So, extraordinary scenes here in Swindon yesterday, and now the very latest news from the High Court about a delay in the final decision. I wonder what you think. Is it unfair to demote Swindon Town to the 3rd Division? Well, not everybody thinks so.
I understand how it feels to be a supporter. I mean, Fulham have been punished, not while I've been chairman, but in the past for indiscretions. And it does seem very sad, having fought your way up 2 divisions, to be dropped back. But the only people that are in the position to decide those things are those who are in possession of all the facts. That isn't you, it isn't me, and it isn't the Swindon Town supporters. And we have to abide sometimes by the decisions of those we appoint, however unpopular that may be.
That's a view that the fans here at Swindon Town will never, ever accept. They say they've been cheated, that the punishment doesn't fit the crime, and that anyway, all the wrong people are affected. So what do you think? Should this club, Swindon Town, be demoted to Division 3? Is it fair? Tonight, Bristol Rovers and Bristol City continue to celebrate their promotion to Division 2. Meanwhile, here in Swindon, it's a story of despair. Well, we invite you to join us for Person to Person tonight, indeed sports fans from all around the South and West, as we debate this vital issue. You can hear the debate on your BBC local radio station immediately after Points West at 7 o'clock, and you can take part by calling us on any one of these 3 numbers.